Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update, and I am your host, CWall, checking in as I love to do all throughout the NFL season to give you the latest and greatest information on those Washington Commanders. You all, welcome to the NFL Week 4 recap. Let's get right on to it. Let's get going. There's a lot of things to discuss. But let's go ahead and get on into it. It was a nail biter, now wasn't it? At Lincoln Financial Field, Washington Commanders versus Philadelphia Eagles. What was an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous weather day. Despite the end of the game and how the game turned out, you all, the weather was absolutely tremendous. And I see DJ Bland has jumped in as well. You all want to make sure you are sharing this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends because we definitely have a lot to talk about. And I see the CEO of Team Bullard Academy, Lawrence Bullard, has checked in as well. Let's get right on into it. Why don't we? What's your one word, everybody? Come on with it. NFL Week 4. What's your one word to describe how you are feeling, how you were feeling after the Commanders versus Eagles actually overtime game? Overtime. Went into overtime. And let me tell you all something. I hope you all brought your dinner. Did you bring your dinner? Did you bring your dinner? I hope you are ready to talk through some of the highs and lows of the day. We're going to, of course, share some excellent pictures by Bowie TV. Works with me closely, photographer, videographer, working on the Commander show, Darrell Owens. Um, we're going to look through some pictures. We're going to look through some press conferences. I want to make sure I'm addressing everyone's questions as well. Cameron Mingo has close. Is his word. I don't have a one word. I see whatever everybody else is saying. I see Eric Jessup says he is promising. Let's get right on into it. Why don't we? Overall, overall. And we're going to get into some of these. And we're going to have some fun too. We're going to have some fun because I know everybody's feeling some type of way. All right. As you can see, I'm not. I was actually in still a very good mood. Hey, and there are no moral victories. See the word competitive here. And that nobody, let's say this, when I start to tell you all about how the culture has shifted and how these guys respond to wins and losses now, I want you all to understand that nobody was about that moral victory stuff. Nobody was trying to hear, oh, you all play really competitive. Oh, you was this, you was that. They did not. Keep those types of comments to yourself. They were sad. Now, the week prior, right, with the dismal, down and out, very dismal loss to the Buffalo Bills. They were upset, angry, very frustrated with that loss. This week, it was there was some feelings hurt. There was some feelings hurt. They were not happy, but it was a different kind of not happy, if that makes sense. For sure, sad. They were sad. Um, and I've steadily been watching how they respond in wins and losses. There was a lot of energy going into that game. I knew that, especially from the offensive side, I knew that they were had buckled down. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. I had a question, I think, come on one of my posts Sunday morning, like, how they looking? Are they prepared? And I'm like, well, shoot, they were prepared going into the Bills game, and we saw how that turned out. So I don't know. We'll see. What I did know was that from an offensive side, they took it very seriously, what happened in week 3 against the Buffalo Bills. And I know I had told you all, this is not something that I have seen before. And so I love this comment by Brian Bigham, which is, I just wanted to see what Sam Howell was going to do. Week 3, I've never seen that Sam. I've never seen the panic mode Sam. And so I really was happy to see a Sam Howell that I recognize. Calm. You all have heard me call him calm, poised. Exactly what he did and how he responded. That's Sam. He doesn't make the same mistakes twice. And we saw him make the same mistakes repeatedly in one game, and that's just not him. And he doesn't get flustered. He doesn't get in panic mode. He doesn't play hero football. And we saw that in real life on Sunday, right? And we're going to get into some fun stuff. I'm going to show you all some of my favorite moments of the game. The offense, I could see them, and I could see all the team. I could see everybody. We didn't go down there, but we could see everyone. And I knew that they were hype. They were ready to go. It was, I saw AG getting really, really hype over there. Jahan, Logan Thomas, saw Sam Cosmi, Nick Gates. I mean, they were ready to rock. Terry McLaurin. Hey, listen, Terry McLaurin is the ultimate professional. But let's be very, very clear about something. When Terry McLaurin is out there on the football field, he is a goon. All right. He turns into a goon. And he's extremely competitive. And they had it. They had all of the swag, all of the everything you want your team to go out there. And they were not, everybody knows and has heard the stories about how ruthless Lincoln Financial Field can be and how Eagles fans can be. Everybody knows those stories. If you've ever been, drop it in the chat about your experience. They tough. The Commanders was ready for it. They were ready for all of the comments, all of the trash talk. They were ready for it. I have not seen them that hype before a game yet. Not that they don't get hype, because they absolutely get hype, but it was just a different swag about them. And it wasn't a pompous or arrogant swag. They were ready to compete. They were ready to roll. And it was exciting to see the first offensive drive and other, just everything as they were moving along. So I'm going to stop there because I could keep going, and we're going to keep going because we got a lot to talk about for sure. I got to get into some questions, and I absolutely want to get into some of the press conferences as well that I think is important. But you had to have had you all some fun moments, some moments that if you caught it on TV, drop it in the chat right now, because I want to know some of your favorite moments of the game. Okay. If you're just tuning in from the Culture from the Couch series, this is your Washington Commanders update. I am your host, CWall, from Bowie Television, giving you all the latest and greatest information of what was going on live at Lincoln Financial Field as we were covering the Washington Commanders versus Philadelphia Eagles. Here's some of my personal very fun moments, and I'm waiting for your fun moment. There had to be, even though they lost, and I know nobody's wanting to do this more victories, but come on, y'all. Some of this was kind of funny or kind of like scary. Let's go ahead and talk about this moment. B-Rob, Brian Robinson Jr., ladies and gentlemen, he trucked somebody completely trucks somebody to get into the end zone, and then OMG, what happens? Then he in turn gets trucked in something that never happens to B Rob. It happened. It happened. Okay? It happened. He fumbled. Who lost their breath when B Rob fumbled for the first time? Oh my God, B Rob fumbled. And then what happens? You see these two right here. You see the sevens show up. Because what I saw from my angle, we know that Terry McLaurin got that fumble. They got it. They were hustling. But when you see Terry McLaurin get out there hustling alongside Sadiq Charles from the offensive line, I said, here we go. These boys want to win this football game. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So this was one of my favorite moments. Why? Because we saw B Rob do something that we've never seen him do at all. And then because he trucked somebody, he got trucked. Here comes the team, like, get the football. These two dudes all over top of it, recovered the fumble, get the touchdown. Really nice moment. Then guess what happens, right? I'm going to show y'all this, all right? Nick Gates, the man himself. You all have heard me talk about Nick Gates slapping people and how Nick Gates does not play. He is down for his team. Look at how he's coming over there, giving those kudos to Terry McLaurin. Then Eagles fans literally just start heckling Nick Gates. And this is his response right here. One of my other highlights of the game. This is Nick Gates' response right here. And look at how Terry McLaurin is laughing. He thinks this is the funniest thing ever. And it is, right? It is funny. And so it would have been even more funny had they won the game, but that's not how it went down. But let me tell you, Nick Gates is not here to play with anybody. If it's one thing you gonna not do, you're not gonna take down his quarterback. He's gonna try to work as hard as he possibly can not to take down the quarterback. And he is going, if you ever wanted your offensive line to have a mean streak, it starts with this guy right here. Pleasant guy, absolutely one of the coolest guys, for real. But out there on that field, if you ain't with him, you against him, and he gonna go to bat for his teammates. Right here, I'm really happy for this one right here. Really happy for this guy right here. Curtis Samuel. So many people have written Curtis Samuel off. And we talk about redemption. We talk about all that. I'm going to talk about Jahan Dotson in a moment as well. But really happy for Curtis. Curtis still has a lot of gas in the tank. He's got a lot to contribute. And he loves being a member of this football team. Shout out to Curtis Samuel because he scored a touchdown too yesterday. Now, we're not going to act like Curtis Samuel was not in the building. Here we go. This part here, I literally laughed out loud. Should not have, but I did. Why? Because Chase Young, it's already a pile. And what happens? Chase Young says, I'm just going to jump on top of the pile. Why, Chase? Why are you jumping on top of the pile? For what? What you do that for? Huh? Just for fun? You say, I'm going to make an impact. If I make an impact, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to jump on top of this pile because that's what I want to do. And so that was funny to me. And I saw some of your other comments come through, like about Jahan Dotson, the opening drive. I saw that comment come through that Cameron Mingo, the opening drive was your fun moment. They finally made it work, and it did for them. The Terry McLaurin catch in overtime, that was a catch, but then they said it was inconclusive, so then no catch is what it is. You might be surprised by what I say is And I want to acknowledge this comment here. And I see Mazdak has joined as well. Curtis has been using this offense very well. Yep, he's a bit of a swift. Hey, listen, don't forget about Curtis Samuel. One of the things that I shared with my Fox Sports 1340 AM family before in the pregame, love button, fire emoji, if you were able to catch that this was a game after what happened last week. This was a game that absolutely Eric Bieniemy was going to start to show his creativity. You have to use your assets. You saw everybody get a piece of the football in that game. Now, of course, it did not end up with a W, but you even saw the offensive line holding so much more. And I want to give a shout out to Ray Rogers from the Fox Sports 1340 AM fam. I had a great time talking to y'all yesterday, and always have a great time talking to you all. And like Ray said, you called it. I said, if ever you were going to get a taste of what this offense can do, today is where all of the tricks going to come out the bag. It's going to happen today. You're going to see it today. You're going to see that balance of, okay, run the football. Then we got some weapons out here that can catch this daggone football too. And it's just straight up, you saw it. And you saw what could be if the offensive line holds. Here was the thing, though. Here was the thing. The offensive line held up as much as they could. Yes, Sam did get taken down a couple times, but not like he did the week prior. So love button, fire emoji for that. He didn't go down as much as he did in week 3. But you saw not only the offensive line hold up a little bit longer, you saw Sam Howell make his reads faster and get the ball out quicker. And when he couldn't figure it out, when they couldn't find it, he threw it away. That's the Sam Howell I know. So that's what I'm saying. It all has to work together. It all has to work together. Can't be one side. It can't be all O-line. Can't be all Sam Howell either. They have to come together to make it work. That's the Sam Howell I'm used to watching in practice. So I said, oh, okay, Sam. And even when you saw them make mistakes, next play they recovered. Logan Thomas coming back from a concussion. He made it work. Absolutely made it work. And I know that was a question that Ray and Wole asked me. And that was, are they going to use Logan Thomas? I said, I fully expect Logan Thomas to be an active contributor to this football game. And he was. Absolutely. So from a offense standpoint, yes, there were some missed opportunities. Yes, there were some things they could have done better always, but you couldn't have really, based on what they did week 3, some big deals that need to be made about this conversation and what we saw yesterday offensively of what could be from this football team. And if you've just tuned in, you all are watching from the Coaching from the Couch series, the Washington Commanders update. I am your host, CWall. Bowie Television. This show comes on each and every single day on Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77. You all are watching the live discussion, which means whatever you say here just might end up on the Tizoob. Bowie TV, we're on site with the Commanders. We're at the games. We're at practices. We're in the locker room. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. So you want to make sure you are absolutely tuned into this because we in the know and we know what's happening. And those awesome pictures you saw, high five to Darrell Lee Owens Sr. because that's who takes them. And that's who's doing all of the above when it comes to the graphics. That's not me. That's Darrell. So shout out to him as well. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way because we got a lot to talk about. We still got to get through press conferences, y'all. And y'all are going to be shocked about what I liked about what I did see defensively that I'm sure everybody's like, what is she talking about? Let's go ahead. Most fans are angry that Commanders didn't go for 2 at the end. Here's the thing. You daggone if you do, you daggone if you don't. Because here's the reality. Had they gone for 2, and not gotten it was the first thing everybody gonna say. Well, why they go to 2? They went for 2 last week and they didn't get it. Take him to overtime. Take him to overtime. The offense was hot. The challenge was the defense wasn't holding on. They weren't stopping Jalen Hurts. I had told several people, and I said this in the pregame show as well. Jalen Hurts is a smart quarterback. And I may as well get into this rant now. But before I get into this rant, no, I don't want to get into this rant. I want to do this. I want to talk about Emmanuel Forbes because I think it's an important topic, right? Here's the deal. Here's the thing. Here's the CWall perspective on Emmanuel Forbes, and what happened. It was going to happen one day. First and foremost, it was going to happen one day. It was going to happen. So here's the reality. That's Jack Del Rio's guy, Emmanuel Forbes. That's what he wanted. You got to learn one day. He either going to live through it. This is what Coach Del Rio said last week. He either going to live through it or he going to learn from it. Live through it or learn from it. I see this comment here, and it's not as bad as everybody thought it was. Okay. You also have to, it's really not. And from what I could see, I thought he held up pretty good. Now, was there two things that, okay, he got scored on? That's AJ Brown. Yeah, he scores on most people. All right. This is not unheard of. This is not unheard of. What happened wasn't, and I want to see this again. Somebody that saw what I saw. He got beat for the first one. Not, you know what I'm saying? But what you gonna do? Like, it's AJ Brown. And it's not only that. Yes, Coach Del Rio put a lot of stock in this kid. Believes a lot in him, as they do. And I already told y'all. I've been telling you all since the summer. Emmanuel Forbes will be checking wide receiver ones and tight end ones as well. And I told you all, love button fire emoji. If you remember me telling you all, this is what he is here to do, to cover WR1, TE1. That's scary. I was scared then because I see and we know who he covers in practice. So if that's who you covering in practice, that's what you're going to do on game day. Yes, they picked on him. And AJ Brown is going to sit right there and say, oh, y'all going to put a rookie on me. Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. Welcome to the league, kid. Okay. Welcome. Go ahead and get that out now. Get it out in week 4. Get it out in week 4. Okay? Now, does it still hurt? Of course. But it really, sitting in, from my vantage point, I had much more issues. At one point, I had to, because I do this, I want to get in and save somebody, right? And I'm like, Coach Del Rio, make the adjustment, help him out. But then I had to say, Candi, this is why Emmanuel is here. It's a heck of a lesson to learn. But this is why he's here. This is what they have him here to do. He's going to be fine, everyone. I saw everybody calling the young man trash. I said, huh? I said, what? Now, he's been locking everything up for the first 3 weeks. Now, all of a sudden, he's trash. No, he's not trash at all, okay? It was AJ Brown. It was going to happen one of these weeks, you all. It was, all right? And that is no shade at all to Emmanuel Forbes, at all. It was going to happen, and they know each other, as several people have. I think Melvin Roberts said it. I see now that Lamar Bland has said it. You all got to know your history about these people, all right? They know each other. They spoke after the game. It's all respect. They'll see each other again in a couple weeks. Hard lesson to learn. It really wasn't as bad as you all thought it was. At least it wasn't to me. I had more of a challenge with the linebacker position group. I'm just not going to let it go. I feel like that linebacker position group can play better. I felt like the defensive line was definitely getting pressure on Jalen Hurts, but once they figured out where the weak link was or what was going to happen, of course you're gonna feed AJ. But there was still too much space open in that middle for me. It was still way too much space on the line. It was way too much space open. It was a lot of times they going right through the middle, catching right in the middle. Why? Because it's always open, and anybody that's watching the game or able to catch the 22 sees that on a regular basis. Now I want to go to this point, and it's been an issue for a while, which is, why does it seem like when the Commanders play good to great quarterbacks, they have tremendous issues? There's a lot of capital on that line, a lot of capital. And it has to come up in a way where it impacts the scoreboard. I literally said in a post, today is not the day to make Sam Howell win this game for you. This ain't it. This is not the one. Sam is great. I'm an advocate for Sam Howell. Let's be clear. But in my role, in what I do, I have to be objective. And I already knew going in, this ain't the day to make Sam Howell be your hero. It's not the day. Because the defense need to do their part. And guess what? I want to say that he almost did. Almost doesn't count. He didn't. You want to know why? Because the defense was not, you got to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. He's too good. He's too smart. He's not going to give up. So you got to, get him off the field. Get Jalen Hurts off of the field. If you allow him to get an opportunity, he's going to make you pay for it. Yeah, Sam almost did. But you don't even want him in that predicament. You don't want him in that predicament because it's already a lot to score 31. Now, we done seen this offense score 35. We've seen them now score 31. They can get there. Could you imagine what this team could be if you have more consistent play on offense and the defense plays up to their cost, what the bottom line says they're supposed to play? I'm being serious. Love button, fire emoji if you understand what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is, if you get this offense to consistently play in that way, and then the defense matches that level of intensity, you got to get a quarterback like Jalen Hurts off the field. You just do. Because if your offense got to score 31, guess what? Jalen, you have to. You have to. The passive approach is not going to work when you are talking a league of high-powered offenses. This is what they do in the NFL. They score touchdowns. This is what they do. So your defense, you got to shut that down.